Hi, everyone. Good morning. It is Thursday, what is today? I don't even remember what day it is. It is August 13th. Good afternoon. I think I said good morning. My mind is going crazy today. But I'm actually really happy right now because I am live with you, and that's where I'm happiest. So what I want to do is I want to take the first part of this live stream, and I want to answer all of the questions that were submitted on Google Classroom as of yesterday. And then after that part of the live stream is over, what I'd like to do is I'd like to take any questions you guys might have on today's assignment, the SAQ pre-assessment. I've gotten many questions from you on Google Classroom and via email. But I want to give you the opportunity to ask those questions live as well, because sometimes you might think of questions live that you wouldn't have thought of before. So feel free and ask them when we get to that point. Okay, the first thing that I want to go over today is textbooks. Many of you are asking, when are we going to get our textbooks? What's going on with that? And that is a valid question. The AP World textbook is integral to your success in this course. I actually just got off the phone with Mr. Peter Lum at the district office. He is a great guy. He actually just put in the order for our WHAP textbooks today. When I asked him how long it would be roughly until you guys receive your textbooks, he said that the company that the textbooks were ordered from, the publishing company, he said their customer service is kind of He said it could be tomorrow, it could be 2 weeks from now. I'm hoping it's not more than that. However, I want to put your minds at ease, because just because you don't have your textbooks doesn't mean that we can't get started on those reading assignments. And here's why. I actually have a copy of the Strayer text. This is the second edition. We will be using the fourth edition for our class. Nevertheless, there really aren't a lot of differences between editions of textbooks. And this is something I want you guys to remember when you get to the college level, because your professors are going to put on their syllabi that, oh, you're required to have this textbook, it has to be this edition, whatever. But if you actually go and talk to your professor about your textbook edition, your professors, most of them are pretty chill. Most of them will tell you, oh, like, go ahead and buy like an earlier edition of it because you'll save money. Now, you do not need to buy the WHAP textbook at all. It is going to be provided to you for free. If you want to buy it, go for it, sure. But it's really expensive. I'm pretty sure they're over $100. So don't buy them yourselves. The WHAP textbook will be in your hands, I'm hoping, in the next couple of weeks. But until then, I'm going to upload excerpts from my copy so that you guys can complete your assignments on Edgenuity. So not having your textbook will not prevent you from doing any of your assignments. So I just wanted to start off with that. There was a question about taking an AP class at the same time as dual enrollment, like whether or not I would recommend that. I actually would. And you might be thinking to yourself, man, that's a lot of work, like an AP class plus dual enrollment. But here's the thing. Honestly, when you get to the college level, you're going to have to balance more than one difficult class. It's not going to be like where you have like one difficult class and then, the rest of your classes are easy and you can balance the homework. You're going to have various difficult classes and you have to balance that workload. So the reason why I would say that you should take AP at the same time as dual enrollment is because it's going to prep you for that intense workload at the college level. I want to pause one quick second. I do see that you guys have questions here in the live chat. I will answer them. I just want to go over all of the questions that were submitted on Google Classroom first. So I promise I will get to you guys here in just a few minutes. So hang tight for me. What time do you leave your house? I leave my house at 6 a.m. usually to get here on time. But with virtual, I have a little more wiggle room. But I think the question really is more like, are you available to help us? And that's always yes. Whenever you have questions, hit me up. If I'm sleeping, it might take me a little while to respond to you. But other than that, I will hop on and I will get your questions answered immediately for the most part. Okay, does the amount of college credit that you get for passing the WHAP exam depend on your pass score. So like if you get a 3 versus a 5, do you get less college credit? The answer to that is absolutely not. As long as you pass the exam, you will get the same amount of college credit. Now, as far as college credit goes, it kind of depends on the schools that you are applying to. If you're applying to, say, Cal State Fullerton generally accepts scores of 3 in most of your AP exams. But like when we're talking about like private schools, like I went to Pepperdine for my master's degree. I think for bachelor's programs, though, Pepperdine wants mostly like 4s and 5s as far as your scores. So what I would do, you guys, is I would do some research on like if let's say there's a school you're already interested in, like, oh, I want to go to Stanford. Go to Stanford's website. They will tell, like they have it completely outlined what scores they accept for the classes you're taking. So I may make an assignment for that, just like a little side thing for participation, to look up a couple of schools and see what WHAP score they want for college credit. So to answer the question of does the amount of credit depend on your score? No, like if you get a passing score, you'll get college credit, but different schools require different scores for that credit. I hope that makes sense. Okay, when will we be starting Edgenuity? I actually answered this question yesterday. Guys, make sure that you're watching the daily videos because there's a lot of important information. And I'm definitely not going to repeat this answer again, but FYI, Edgenuity will begin this Monday. Some of you might already have access to it, which in that case, if you want to get started, you can. But honestly, I really do want you guys to wait for Monday because I'm going to go through and give you guys an entire like tutorial on the ins and outs of Edgenuity. Also, I may be tweaking a couple of things here and there. There's certain things I might not require after really diving deep into Edgenuity. So the main reason I'm saying wait is because I don't want you guys to jump in and do an assignment that I end up not requiring. So hang tight. Wait for Monday for Edgenuity. I will go through an entire tutorial with you, and then we'll get the ball rolling on that stuff. Why do you love history? Oh, man. There's a quote by James Baldwin that says, it's specifically about American history, but I would apply it to world. That world history is larger, more terrible, and more beautiful than anything anyone has ever said about it. I see that it looks like my YouTube live stream is lagging for a couple of you. I'm sorry about that. Hang tight. It will be saved correctly. So when it's saved to my website, it will be saved correct. It'll have everything here. So I'm sorry that it's lagging temporarily, but hang tight for me. And also, remember, I do not require mandatory attendance at these live streams. They're for your information. Attendance will be taken based on your completion of Google Classroom assignments. Okay. Do you like Euro or World more? That's a tough question. I really like both of them equally, but I like different things about them. I really love World. Let's talk about World specifically. I love AP World because it encompasses everything. It's not just Eurocentric the way European history is. It really encompasses everything and everybody. And I love that about it because it's all inclusive, not like a all inclusive stay, at Cancun or something. When I say all inclusive, it's inclusive of every culture in the world, of every country in the world, and every person in the world. It's really beautiful in that sense. So I really do enjoy teaching AP World for that reason, that it's not Eurocentric, it's world-centric. So I think it's awesome. Okay, how much time will I spend doing work per day for WHAP? I would say anywhere from like 1 to 2 hours a day for AP World is the norm. And that's really the norm for any class. As far as like reading assignments go, it's kind of nice because reading assignments from the Strayer text will be embedded into your work in Edgenuity. I'm going to play around with that a little more, but I think for that reason, we can actually bypass daily hardcore reading assignments that I would usually charge, that I would usually assign for, every single day. So keep that in mind. I would say like 1 to 2 hours a day. Usually one. I think one is probably the benchmark as far as your daily workload. A lot of you might be a little bit overwhelmed by that, but keep in mind that this is a college course and college professors do assign like 1 to 2 hours of work per day. And I'm not assigning that amount of work to be mean. I promise. I'm assigning that amount of work so that when it comes to May 10th at 8 a.m., you are ready for that exam. And guys, I do not assign busy work. I don't. I know that like the video that I assigned, that might have seemed like busy work, but it's really not. That was for me to get to know you, and I'm going to respond to all of those videos, and because that's important to me. But I won't be assigning any busy work. I don't believe in that crap. I don't believe in assigning, like worksheets or anything like that. Every single thing that I assign to you will be part of a ladder that you will climb to get ready for that AP exam. So I promise every single thing I assign is with the intention of helping you. And I'm here. Like, if you're confused on an assignment, don't be shy. Just hit me up and I will help you to the best of my ability. Okay, will we be watching historical documentaries? Heck yeah. Historical documentaries are the best. We are also going to watch historical movies together. And I'm going to find a way to do it so that there aren't any like technical hiccups, like where it's lagging or anything like that. But that'll be a great way. Like, documentaries and movies are a great way for us to connect. And they're a great way of visually illustrating those moments in history that define us as human beings. So yes, we will definitely be watching documentaries and we will definitely be watching movies. There may be a couple R-rated movies that we watch towards the end of the year, like Schindler's List. For those movies, I will definitely need permission from your parents in order for you to watch them. If I don't have permission from your parents, unfortunately, you won't be able to share in that experience. But I will give you alternatives that will provide you with the opportunity to have just as much fun. So don't worry. Okay, are you going to hold office hours? Yes. So, you like Schindler's List. It is a great movie. It's very sad. But anyway, let's get back to this for a second. Holding office hours. My office hours will generally be from 1 to 3 every single day, Monday through Friday. You might be thinking, oh, well, I have my other class periods that I have to attend in that 1 to 3 time frame. Keep in mind, I will go live and all of those videos will be saved, and you'll always have the opportunity to live chat with me. Let's say you're feeling kind of shy and you have a question that you want to ask, but you don't want to ask it in front of everybody, but you still want that live interaction. Hit me up and we can schedule a private Zoom meeting, and I will be more than happy to tutor you one-on-one. Or you can hit me up through Remind, or you can email me. I'll probably even set up like a Google Voice thing where like we can call each other. I'm not going to give out my personal number, but Google Voice I think will work well for us. So after we're done with this live session, I'll probably get that set up, and then I'll message you guys that information through Remind. But yes, I will have office hours 1 to 3 every single day. I'll be available, and everything will be pre-recorded. What is your favorite video game? Minecraft! Minecraft is life. I love Minecraft. I follow PewDiePie. I follow like a ton of Minecraft YouTubers. I'm obsessed. I might even start like live streaming my own Minecraft stuff. I think you guys probably like that. But yeah, Minecraft is the penultimate experience of my life. I love me some Minecraft. Oh, I have played 2,000 hours of Minecraft. 2,000 hours? I'm impressed. That's very impressive. I approve wholeheartedly. If you guys are Minecrafters and you want to show me like your latest like crafting, or you want to show me your house or anything like that, you could like take a video and send it to me. I would love to see that, and I'll show you guys my stuff too. Whoa, someone else has 6,000 hours? Man, my hat is already off, but my hat is off to you, sir. All right. Why do you like teaching? Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. Just a quick one. I actually did not start out wanting to be a teacher. I started out wanting to go to law school. And from the time I was your guys' age up through all throughout my bachelor's degree, I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a lawyer so that I could help kids and so that I can help people like navigate their way through the legal system. But when I got to I got into law school. I got into Western State College of Law, and it was a great school. But when I got there, it wasn't quite what I expected. I made the mistake of not researching the legal field before jumping into law school. Don't do that. Always research what you want to get into before getting into it. But basically, the way law school works is that like 3 or 4 people are called on within any given 2-hour class session. And only those people interact with the professor. And in my own personal experience in law school, the professors did not let us look at our notes, did not let us reference anything. We had to stand up and we had to know the answers. I'm not trying to scare you guys away from law school, I promise. But this is called the Socratic method. And 3 weeks in, I got called on. And this particular professor, he was skinny. He was really old. I'm talking completely bald old. And he had suspenders on and a bow tie. So he looked like this, cute little old man, right? But no, he was vicious. He was savage. For whatever reason, I'm a really good student, guys. But for whatever reason that day when I got called on, I blanked. I couldn't remember anything about what this professor asked me. And I was like, what do I do? So I got kicked out of class for not knowing my answers. And not only did I get kicked out, this particular professor used some pretty vehement language to kick me out. We're talking F-bombs, guys. It was bad, totally inappropriate, right? But anyway, I got kicked out and I was like, deuces, I left. And I'm really glad that I left because later on that day, one of my homies texted me. She's like, oh, you got called on in another class too. So yeah, you weren't here. I was like, oh, thank God. But the day after that, I was like, you know what? This isn't what I want. Education shouldn't be like that. Education should be all-inclusive. It should be beautiful. It should be a community of learners trying to help one another, not sabotage each other, And when that happened, when I got called on and I didn't know the answer, I kind of looked around to my classmates and they weren't like, oh, I'm so sorry. That really sucks. They looked at me and they're like, what's wrong with you? I didn't know the answers. Yeah, it just, I didn't like it. So that day, actually, after I got kicked out of class, I drove to UCR because that's where I got my bachelor's degree. I just drove there and I sat under my favorite tree and I sat there for 3 hours, just Buddha style, contemplating what I wanted to do with my life and the direction I wanted my life to go in. And I was like, you know what? This is where I belong. Not at UCR, but in a classroom filled with students teaching history. I get to teach the people I love. Shut up, Siri. I get to teach the people I love what I love. And that is oh man, that is a great joke, Master Sarge. You said, did an apple fall on your head and you discovered gravity? Unfortunately, I'm not Isaac Newton in a reincarnated life, although I would like to be. But I really did have that kind of that moment of realization that where I belong is in a classroom teaching you guys. It's what makes me passionate. It's what makes my heart sing. It's what makes me feel whole. It's what makes me happy. Guys, there's nobody in this classroom right now. You guys are with me digitally, but I feel good. I feel like I am where I belong. That's why I love teaching, because I feel like I belong someplace, and having a sense of belonging, that is the best identity booster you could ever experience in your life. And that's my hope for all of you, that you can all also have that moment of realization of what you're supposed to do. That's why you're in this class. That is why you're with me. I'm going to help guide you in that direction. So I hope that answers the question of why I love teaching and why I love all of you. Okay, where will we submit our assignments? So there's 2 places. Oh, don't worry about being late. It's totally fine. I'm going to upload this entire video to my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to access all of it, Alex. But anyway, about submitting assignments, there's 2 places where you'll do that. 1, Edgenuity. 2, Google Classroom. Again, Edgenuity, do not worry about until Monday, but make sure that by tomorrow night that you guys have all of the Google Classroom assignments completed, okay? Make sure that everything's good to go. Make sure everything's done, because that is what I'll be basing your attendance off of, okay? I want to clarify something, though. As far as submitting assignments late goes, don't submit assignments late. Try not to. Like, if it's more than like 24 to 48 hours late, I'll have to start docking points. But as long as your weekly assignments are completed within that week when they're supposed to be completed, you will be marked present Monday through Friday. I hope that makes sense. And if you need any clarification on that, make sure to hit me up through Remind or via email. Oh, I wanted to clarify something about those daily question assignments that I post on Google Classroom. For whatever reason, Google Classroom won't let me post them unless I attach a point value to it. So I've been putting that they're worth 1 point each. They're actually not worth any points. You do, and I repeat, you do not have to submit any questions or like submit a Google Doc to that if you don't have any questions. None of those things will be counted towards your grade. So just to kind of like help me like get through like the huge influx of assignments that are turned in, don't submit anything unless you actually have a question. Again, it will not count against your grade. The structure of Edgenuity, somebody asked that question. Again, wait till Monday. I promise we will go through all of that, like from A to Z. Is it just this week where we won't have Zoom meetings? That's actually a really good question. Honestly, guys, I really don't feel that Zoom is the most prudent platform for us engaging with each other, mainly because everybody, I swear, every other teacher right now is on Zoom, and it causes like a lot of lag. And I have over 230 students, you guys. I have a lot. So I just feel like going live on Instagram and going live on YouTube is way easier for us to connect. And it's way easier for me to answer all of your questions, because let's face it, those 20-minute periods. Oh, hi. Someone said hi to me, so I'm saying hi back. Those 20-minute periods will not suffice. Like, we have way too much stuff to go over. So I just figured doing the live sessions with you guys is better. But we will still use Zoom. And I was thinking about it, and what I want to do is, and yeah, I know if it's over 100, it always gets laggy. But I want to use Zoom for a more concentrated purpose. We're going to start using Zoom for small group sessions, small group tutoring sessions. I'm going to put you guys in groups, and in those groups, you guys are going to share like Google Docs and things like that with each other. You're going to help each other study throughout the year. And then we're going to meet in small groups on Zoom in order to kind of see where you guys are, if you have questions. That way we're not in such a large environment, and you can get those questions answered. So to answer your question, we're going to Zoom still. It's just not going to be every single day, but it will, like, if we do Zoom, it will always be in that 1 to 3 time period. We'll work it out, and we will get all of that stuff taken care of. But one thing I do want to ensure you guys is that no matter what live platform we're using, you are going to get the information that you need. And one thing I really like about using YouTube Live and Instagram Live is that I can save the videos immediately. Whereas on Zoom, sometimes they save and sometimes they don't. Like when I used Zoom back in March, like I would say like maybe 40% of the time my Zoom meetings were saved. Whereas with Instagram or YouTube, it saves every single day. So that way you could go back and look at all that info. But we'll still Zoom in small groups. Okay. Will we ever perform skits or performances? Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And that'd be a really fun way of interacting with the material. You'll have opportunities to do creative projects. You'll be able to write songs or raps about history. We'll do a lot of really fun, interactive stuff. It's not going to be just lame, edgenuity and, only doing stuff on Google Classroom. We'll do fun stuff too. And I think having fun in school is really important. And I'm gonna do research, and I'm gonna learn how to make the digital environment fun for you. Okay, are there certain topics that will be harder to learn than others? That's a great question. And personally, I think first semester might be a little bit tougher than second semester. And that's because first semester we're going over the stuff 1200 through 1800. So it's the stuff that's earlier on in history. The primary sources we're going to look at are a bit more convoluted, the text and the language is a little harder to understand. Whereas second semester, we're going to get into the Industrial Revolution, World War I, World War II, the Cold War, and the text of those documents is going to be a lot easier to understand. So to answer that question, I think the first half of the year might be a bit more of a struggle as far as primary source analysis and getting used to the class goes. But the second half of the year, we're going to sail right through. And the second half of the year, that's when we learn about the super exciting stuff too. There's a question, will this be posted on my channel later? Yes, it will. So as soon as I click end stream, at the bottom of my screen, it will automatically save to my YouTube channel. So you can go through this whole thing again. Oh, I made a decision, you guys, about notes. And I want to meet you guys halfway. For assignments on Google Classroom, I will allow you to type your assignments up. You do not have to handwrite anything, although I think it'd be more valuable if you did handwrite. But for your assignments, you can type them up. Notes, though, I want you to have that 5-subject notebook or separate notebooks. Somebody asked that question, can we have separate notebooks? Sure, that's fine. But I want you guys to handwrite the notes that you take. And the reason being is because when you are physically writing something out, when you write it down, you are far more likely to remember it because you're going through that acquisition of content twice. You're reading it physically, and then you're writing it down physically. You have 2 opportunities to really memorize that information. Whereas a lot of the research I've done shows that when students take digital notes, that content acquisition is far less than if they were to be handwritten. As far as the format that I want your guys' notes to be in, I'm going to upload an entire video on how to take notes for AP World tomorrow. So that'll be uploaded sometime tomorrow between 10 and noon. Also, tomorrow, unfortunately, I won't be available live because I have to take my fiance to a doctor's appointment that was already scheduled before school started, before we knew about any of this. So I won't be available live tomorrow, but I will be available via email, via Remind. And if it's an emergency, you absolutely don't know how to do an assignment, just let me know and I'll get on Google Voice with you and we'll talk over the phone. But as far as live streaming, unfortunately, tomorrow I won't be able to, but I'll be available through other mediums. Again, though, handwritten notes, very important. Are you the only WHAP teacher? I'm the only WHAP teacher for virtual school for CNUSD this year. However, there's a team of us WHAP teachers all throughout the district that work together. We share resources. We're a community of teachers, and we're really big on helping each other out. So I think what I might do is I might create a separate file folder in our Google Drive, our shared Google Drive, and I'm going to put resources that other AP World teachers are using. I'm going to put them in that Google Drive for you, so that way you can have access to other teacher stuff too. Because why not? I consider myself a good teacher, but there's so many other good teachers out there with great ideas. So I'm really big on sharing that. So even though I'm the only virtual WHAP teacher, I'm certainly not the only AP World teacher in the district, and I'll share their ideas too. Workload compared to honors. I would say that for AP, the workload is pretty similar to honors classes. I know a lot of honors teachers here at Santiago where I teach, and their workloads are pretty heavy. I think the major difference, though, at least for my class, between an honors class and my AP class, is that I don't give any work that is unnecessary. I'm not implying that there's honors teachers, that all honors teachers give unnecessary work. I'm not implying that. But the big difference in my class is that every assignment is considered to be a rung of a ladder to help you pass that AP exam. So even though the workload might seem a bit more than your average honors class, the workload is beneficial because it's going to help you. The more, it sounds strange, but the more work you do, the more likely you are to pass the test. Did I say that sounds strange? That's not strange at all. It makes perfect sense. But anyway, just make sure that, honestly, just stay on top of your work. Don't let yourself fall behind. One thing, I don't know if you guys noticed, I pretty much sit on my phone, and when you guys email me or when you text me via Remind, I try to answer you guys immediately. And I do that for two purposes. One, it makes you guys feel better. Two, it helps me from feeling that anxiety of having emails pile up and having messages pile up. I want you to take that same mentality with your classes. As soon as you get an assignment, I want you to try and get in the habit of doing it right away. Or if you have another class meeting, then try and get started on it right after that. The more you have stuff start to build up, that's when you're going to start feeling that anxiety. So tackle the workload by just immediately starting those assignments. How many chances? Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to answer this question first. For the introducing yourself video, it was asked, do you have to include your face or your body? No, you don't ever have to show me anything as far as your face goes or anything like that if you're not comfortable with that. I want you guys to be comfortable. If you're not comfortable doing something as far as sharing your face online, you do not have to. So if you want to just do an audio message, just record yourself on your phone and then send it to me, just submit it through Google Classroom and we'll be good to go. How many chances will there be on the AP exam? So it all depends. Now, if we magically go back to school next month, we won't be because we're all virtual, but let's say everybody else goes back to school. Then College Board might be okay, we can just have the regular test as planned with multiple choice, with SAQs, the LEQ, a DBQ, they won't change anything. However, if we don't go back to school at all this year, if everybody is online all year, there's a very good chance that College Board will once again restructure the test. Here's what happened last year, or on the last AP Euro exam and the World exam and the US exam. College Board restructured the exam so it would only be a DBQ, and the whole exam was only 45 minutes compared with the normal 3.5 hours it would take to complete the entire exam. So my answer to chances on the AP exam, it depends on how College Board decides to structure the exam this year. If it's just a regular traditional exam, you have one chance. If the exam is online again, the way it was for this past year, then you'll have that chance the first day. But let's say you have a glitch or it doesn't go through or you can't open it. There's a makeup date where you can then take the test. But traditionally, you would have that one-time chance to take it. Will there be semester finals? There will be a semester final for first semester. That first semester final is going to be a practice exam. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want you guys to be used to not just the content that's on the exam, but the format of it. The more practice you do, especially timed practice, the more likely you are to pass the exam on May 10th. So yes, we will have a semester final for first semester, but not for second semester. Overlapping classes. There's been a lot of questions about overlapping classes. This is an error that was made by, I don't think it was even made by counselors or anybody. I think it was just a glitch in the queue system. And counselors and administration in the district, they're working really hard to correct that problem. So the question is, well, what if you're live and I have an overlapping class and I can't attend your live session? That's why I really like using Instagram or YouTube, is because it saves automatically and it'll be on my channel. And it's as if you are attending the live session, just not during when it was actually live, if that makes sense. My least favorite moment in history. I had to think a lot about that one. It's really easy to share my favorite moment, the one where Charlotte Corday stabs Jean-Paul Marat with her high heel. By the way, she was executed a few days after that, so it wasn't like she got off, and split free. But my least favorite historical moment, I would have to say and some of you might already be familiar with this, I'd have to say it was the assassination of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which was the spark that led to World War I. Why is that my least favorite moment in history? If that had never happened, it's very likely that World War I might not have happened. If World War I hadn't happened, World War II wouldn't have happened. Well, I can't say that definitively, but it's far less likely that these events would have taken place. And I'm sure you guys know that World War II was the epicenter for some of the most horrific human tragedies that have ever taken place. So you said Franz Ferdinand deserved it. Actually, there have been a lot of historians who said the same thing, but I don't know. I don't think so. He actually didn't even want to ascend the throne to begin with, but we'll talk about that later on this year. But anyway, yeah, that's my least favorite moment in history because it sparked unprecedented violence. Like, you have over 30 million people who died in World War I, and then you have like over 60 million people that died in World War II. So that one assassination led to close to 100 million deaths throughout the rest of the century. So that's my least favorite historical moment. But there's lots more that I'll share with you guys over the year. Actually, I think this question was asked up here too, so I'm killing two birds with one stone. How do we add a video attachment to Google Classroom? That is an excellent question. Here's what I would do. Let's say, you're taking your video, taking your selfie, whatever it might be. Save it to your photo library. Then go into your photo library, select whatever the video is or photo is that you want to upload. Select it. And then if you have an iPhone here, let me see if I can show you. I'm going to open a picture in my phone. Okay, so I'm going to select a photo. I'm going to select this photo that I sent to you guys this morning. See, I selected it. And there's this little thingy down here. You press it, and then it'll give you an option of where to send it to. Send it to your Google Drive. So select that. And then select which account you want to send it to. I'm going to send it to my CNUSD account. And then I'm going to click this guy. And I'm going to click, wait, why won't it? Oh, I need to select my folder. I'm going to save it to my drive. I'm going to click save here and then click upload. And you just upload it to your Google Drive. And then when you log into your Google Classroom, go to the assignment that says introducing ourselves, click on it, and then submit your assignment, and it'll give you an option to attach a video from your Google Drive. I went through that kind of fast. If you have any more questions about how to upload your video to Google Classroom, just hit me up privately and I'll go over that with you one-on-one. See. Did you watch the video, The Fallen of World War II? No, I actually have not watched that one yet, but I'm going to I'm going to write that down. The Fallen of World War II. I'm really excited. I really like getting access to new resources and learning more. So thank you for that, Master Sarge. Okay. There are a couple more questions here. Oh, there's one more question here. Do we have to buy the WHAP book? Guys, do not buy the book. I promise you, you will have it in your hands, I would say, like within the next couple of weeks. And just to reiterate again, I have the second edition of the book, which is virtually the same as the fourth edition. So I'll upload the pages that you guys need. So that way we don't fall behind in that gap before you receive your textbooks. Okay, so that is all of the questions that I received from yesterday, but I want to go through the live feed and make sure I answer all of your questions from here too. Okay. Do we pick up our textbooks at school? I believe so. I believe when the textbooks arrive, the district will send them to your school sites, and then you will go and pick them up. Or, yeah, that's probably how it's going to go. I'll contact Mr. Lum again to get more information on how those textbooks will be delivered, but most likely you'll go to your school site to pick them up. Isn't Edgenuity going to reset your progress this week? No, it shouldn't. When I log into Edgenuity on Monday and I set it up for you guys, I'm actually able to like pace it so that it starts Monday and then ends when we want it to end. But it should not reset your progress if I do that. But I will call IT. Hang on, let me make a note of that. This Edgenuity resetting progress. I'm going to call IT and see what they have to say about that. So that way we can get that question settled. But I don't think so. I'm pretty sure if you've completed an assignment, then you won't have to redo it. And if that's the case, like if there's a couple of assignments that you completed and you can honestly tell me, Miss Bolton, I already did these. Do I have to do them again? I could probably just skip them for you and we'll be good to go. But rule of thumb though, guys, just don't worry about Edgenuity until Monday, okay? Let's see. For the questions on the SAQ, there's already an answer. Do we add on to that? So you actually don't have to use that answer. I just wanted to give you like a sentence frame, like a starter. Since it's going to be, that's your first one, I wanted you to see like what a typical answer should look like. But you don't have to use it. As long as your answer is specific and direct and it includes the language of the question, you're fine. You don't have to use my answer. I just wanted to give that to you just kind of as a starter since it's your first time doing it. But yeah, just make sure that if you do want to use my answer, add on to it. Make sure you use a specific key term when you're citing your evidence and then explain that key term and connect it back to your answer. Again, I want to reiterate, this first practice SAQ will not count against your grade whatsoever. It is meant for me to just kind of pre-assess, not so much your knowledge, but your skills. That way I can kind of see where we're starting from. Like, are we starting from scratch or can we start a little bit more advanced? Do we need multiple options? It's just mainly like for data purposes for me. You'll still get credit though. It'll count towards your SAQ practice grade. So as long as you try your best, you'll get full credit on this first SAQ assignment. Okay. For the one ACE assignment, do we look up evidence online? Yeah, that's totally fine. I made the questions something that a lot of you probably know quite a bit of information about already, which is Adolf Hitler. So I figured I would use that just to kind of, get your feet wet, get the ball rolling and go from there. But if you don't really know like a whole lot about why Hitler rose to power or the effects of Hitler rising to power, just do a little bit of research online. I do want to make mention of this very important fact though, okay? When you are at the C part of the ACE method, the citing evidence, what I mean is don't like go online and cite websites. Don't cite sources. When I say cite evidence, what I'm saying is use specific key terms that help you support your answer. You want to stay away from really vague language. You want to be specific. And a good way of being specific is using key terms that relate to your answer. Okay. And we obviously haven't learned any key terms yet. So yes, you can go online and look some of those up. Okay. Let's see. Where can I find evidence for the WHAP PSS? We just talked about that. Evidence, again, is key terms. You can use the internet to look up information. Or if you want to just ask me, that's totally fine too. Like if you absolutely can't think of anything or can't find anything, just hit me up and I'll walk you through it. By the way, I can't believe some of you have like 6,000 hours on Minecraft. That's honestly like some teachers might like put their nose up to it, but I'm low-key impressed. All right. downloading the video, prosecution. Sorry, I'm going through. I think I answered the majority of questions. Master Sarge asked or he mentioned that his sister turned in a project at 11:59 and the internet made it submit it at 12, like midnight, so it was considered late. I'm not that hardcore. Like when I consider an assignment late, I mean it's like 24 hours to 48 hours late. Like a few minutes or a few hours even, that's fine. But don't make it a few days because one, it'll affect your grade. Two, it's just going to stress you out. Believe me, you do, especially for AP World, you really want to make sure that you're staying on top of your stuff. Okay. Let's see. So attendance will only be taken on account of Google Classroom assignments and not Edgenuity. Pretty much because, well, actually, no, I'm going to consider both. I'm going to take both into account. But when I said I'm using Google Classroom for attendance, I meant specifically for this week. I want to make sure that you guys do all of that stuff so that I can mark all of you present for every school day this week. But yes, starting next week, I will also be using Edgenuity to determine attendance as well. That's a good question. Thank you for asking that. Who was that? Was that Simra? I hope I said your name right. Guys, I'm really sorry if I butcher your names. It's just a little harder since we're virtual. But once I watch all your videos, I'm going to try to remember how all of your names are pronounced. Sebastian Chavez asked, I thought virtual students don't get textbooks. Sebastian, I'm pretty sure you're correct about that. But since you guys are taking an AP class, by College Board standards, you have to have a textbook in order for the course to be considered legit. Now, if textbooks aren't used in an online course, then that affects the standing of an AP class and whether or not you're able to get credit. So that's why the district, like they've already purchased the textbooks, guys. The licenses have already been bought. So the whole textbook issue has been resolved. The only thing that has not been resolved yet is the textbook is not physically in your hand. But that's the reason why textbooks have to be used, because College Board dictates that you have to have access to a college level textbook in order for an AP class to be considered legit, if that makes sense. Okay, Bob Ross. I hope that's the real Bob Ross. That would make me so happy. But the real Bob Ross is dead, actually, so that would be kind of creepy. So if this is Bob Ross's ghost, that would actually be kind of cool. Okay, so for evidence, do we name the event? Is that a key term, or can we explain it if it doesn't have a name? So for your evidence, it could either be a key term, like in the example from the ACE assignment, I think I used the Scramble for Africa as a specific key term. Now, specific evidence can be a name. It could be like a famous historical figure. It could be like, here, I'll show you these guys. These guys are so cool. This is a terracotta warrior. That is a key term of our class. And terracotta warriors were made under the Emperor Qin Shi Huangdi, who unfortunately is no longer in our key concept. But the main idea here is a terracotta warrior, that is a piece of specific evidence. Qin Shi Huangdi, that's a name. That's specific evidence. The Battle of Saratoga, I don't know, from the Revolutionary War. That is considered specific evidence. So any name, any event, or any other specific key term is considered evidence in AP World History. Good question. Writing paragraphs, yes. So the SAQ responses are meant to be in paragraph form. Each response, I would say, aim for like 5 to 7 sentences per response. So the first question in your assignment, let me actually go to it. Hang on. I don't want to say like what the question is, but have it be wrong. Hang on just a second. Google Drive, free cloud storage. Sorry, guys. I kind of talk to myself a little bit when I'm accessing stuff. I'm not crazy, I swear. Actually, I'm a little crazy, but in a good way, I hope. All right, come on. Here at school, my internet's a little bit slower. You know what? It's taking too long, but the question was how, like, the cause of Adolf Hitler rising to power, right? So for that one question, you want to have like a good, I would say anywhere from 5 to 7 sentences to answer that one question. Now, it's going to be hard. Like when it comes to the day of the AP exam, remember, there's 3 SAQ prompts you have to do, and there's 3 questions per prompt. So that's 9 questions altogether. You have 40 minutes to do all 9 of those questions. So let's do the math here. If we have 40 minutes divided by 9 questions, that's about 4.5 minutes per response. Now, honestly, guys, for this first SAQ assignment, don't worry about timing yourself. That's not of the essence right now. Right now, what we want to get used to is the format. But the reason why I was telling you that is because each response should have a good solid paragraph, and you only have 4.5 minutes per paragraph. But for purposes of this assignment, there's 2 questions, so you should have 2 paragraphs with, let's aim for 5 sentences each. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Will we receive feedback on the pre-assessment? Absolutely. And I'm really big about feedback. I really want to make sure that you guys have, access to how you did. And that's really important to you progressing through this course. So yes, you will receive feedback. I do want you guys to keep in mind that I do have over 200 students this year. So in a typical year, like I could get essays back pretty quickly, but it might take me a little bit longer since I have, so many extra students this year because we're all virtual. So I would say give me a week and I should have all of your responses back to you within a week. Fingers crossed. It may take me a little bit longer, but not too much longer than that. But I will go as quickly as possible. Okay. How much time is a good amount to do on Edgenuity? I think the way the Edgenuity assignments are broken down, I don't think you really need to spend more than an hour a day on Edgenuity. But we'll talk more about that on Monday when we go through our Edgenuity tutorial. How many paragraphs for the SAQs? Like 4 to 5? No, definitely not 4 to 5 paragraphs for those 2 questions. 1 paragraph per question. They're considered to be separate questions. And also, don't write them like an essay format. Do like number 1 paragraph, number 2 paragraph. So that way they're separate entities, and that way I can find your answers super easily. I hope that makes sense. Is there any place that we can take practice tests online? That's a great question. Oh, man, I wish I had brought my prep books with me. But when you buy a preparation book from Barnes & Noble or Amazon, if you get like the Princeton Review or Kaplan or Crash Course, all of those books, when you buy them, come with online tests. They'll give you a code to register online with, and then you can access all of those tests online. I would highly recommend either Princeton Review or Barron, because those books come with like 4 to 5 full practice tests each. We're also going to do practice tests like as part of our class, but if you want like more immediate access to those tests, I would definitely use those. As far as me uploading those practice tests, I have to check and make sure that I can, because if I upload them, it might be considered copyright infringement. So I need to check into that first before I start doing that. But we will do tons of practice. Even if it's not like full on tests every month, we'll do SAQ tests, we'll do LEQ tests, we'll do DBQ tests. And then if you're really itching to do a full-on practice test, just let me know, and I could probably make one for you from scratch. So we'll work together on that. Let's see. Will you make docs for us to do tests? How many practice tests will we have per month? So it kind of depends. It depends on the pacing. And pretty much like your tests in my class will be unit tests. You will not have a test for every single chapter. You'll have a test per unit. And depending on the unit dictates the size of the test. But we'll probably have like at least 1 test a month where we really go through and we have like multiple opportunities to practice our writing. Do we start Edgenuity Monday or can we start now? If you're dying to start now, like if you really, really want to, and you log in and your course is there and it's ready for you, go for it. Like if you really want to, you can. But for those of you who, kind of want like all of the issues and all the kinks to be worked out, that kind of stuff, wait till Monday. I promise you it'll be just fine. Okay, I think that was the end of the questions in the live chat. Does anyone else have any questions they want to ask before I end it? We all good? Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed our live session today. Oh, there's another question. There's a couple. How will you take our attendance today since our homework is due tomorrow? Okay, so as far as that, as long as you have it done by tomorrow, I'll consider you present for today. So I'm being really flexible with this because of internet access issues, and you guys have a lot of other classes and a lot of other things that you're dealing with too. So I just feel like this is more of a streamlined way. But again, as long as you have that assignment done by tomorrow, you will be considered present for today. And what's nice is that in CNUSE, our attendance policy is that we teachers, we have 5 days to complete attendance for any one given day. So that means for today, since today's Thursday, I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I can submit today's attendance all the way to Tuesday. But I like getting attendance done weekly, again, so that I don't fall behind. Okay. If you are ahead on Edgenuity, no, you don't have to stop. I mean, I want you guys to do what feels good for you. If you are good and you want to keep going with it, please do. I just mean like if you feel hesitant and you don't have access to the course yet, or you want to avoid those tech issues, just wait until Monday. You don't have to wait till Monday, but I would recommend it. But if you've already started and you're way ahead and you want to keep going, go for it. Let's see, I think, okay, she said we can, but she'll give us a tour of Edgenuity if we start. Yeah. Okay, so I answered all that. Can I backflip? I wish I could backflip. Maybe you could teach me, Mr. Ross. Cool deal. Do we have to use a different answer than the one you used for? No, you don't have to use a different answer. If you want to use my answer, that's totally fine. If you want to come up with your own answer, that's fine too. If you're not sure about your own answer and you want to check with me first before you move on, message it to me and we'll go from there. So what do we do for attendance today? Oh, so I'll probably, like how I did yesterday, like how I did like a little question about the live stream. I'll probably do that same thing. So I'll think of a question to put on Google Classroom that you guys have to answer for today's live stream. And that way I can know that I can count your attendance for today too. So we'll probably do that. Okay, I think I answered everyone's questions. So I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. It should be automatically saved to my YouTube channel. I'll verify that and then I will let you guys know. And I will also, I'll see if I can post this live stream to Instagram too. I think there's a way to do that. So I'll take care of that for you. And that's basically it. If you have any questions about that SAQ pre-assessment, please let me know. It is very important. And I can't wait to see you guys again. Please remember, I won't be available for a live stream tomorrow because of my fiance's doctor appointment, but I will be available for communication on any other platform of your choice. So just let me know if you need me. All right, guys, thank you and have a great rest of your day. Bye.